Okay, guys, so several things about this tragic situation in Philadelphia that happened over the weekend. Pregnant woman was murdered. We're going to get into it. Um, Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. $50,000 reward offered. And she was killed publicly outside. Where's the NBA players that had so much to say about Kyle Rittenhouse? Where are they donating, chipping in a game check? Or where are the analysts, the crew of the NBA show that would just, they spent the opening segment of their show talking about this. Where's Jalen Rose? Where's all the ESPN pundits and all the NBA players that have so much to say about Kyle Rittenhouse? Where are they? I'm going to tell you why they're not going to do anything to this. Because if they had to say something about incidents like this every time they happen, or donate money towards to help the family, or towards a reward to help find the suspects, they would go broke. They would literally go broke. A sister gets whacked out every 5.5 hours. And most of the time it's in public. It's on the street. It's not domestic, like other women from other groups. And then secondly, about this, you see CNN covered it, but they covered it on their website. They would never touch a story like this on their channel, on TV. Hit one if you've ever seen a story like this on CNN. Of a son, child, being killed in the stand. Not by a cop and that's the other thing. They can talk about every incident, every Kyle Rittenhouse incident, because it happens so infrequently. Even though we know Kyle killed two glacier gliders, even that happens so infrequently. Like, if they had another Kyle, we talked about this on the live stream the other day. Ock Nation TV, link in the description box. Join me Tuesdays and Fridays at 9:30 p.m. If they had another glider that did something like Kyle Rittenhouse did, they would have been like, you see, it's a pattern. It is out of control since all they got is Kyle, man. And some meth labs exploding out in Pennsylvania somewhere. The majority of the shootings in this country happen in the stand, or somewhere a stand-in went and shot somebody. That's why CNN would never cover this, because there's not enough hours in the day.
A pregnant woman is dead today after a shooting in Philadelphia's Lawncrest neighborhood. It's a heartbreaking end to a Saturday that was full of love and well wishes for the young mother. Eyewitness News reporter Jasmine Payute picks up this story.
It's just shocking because it's like, why would they want to do that to her?
Confusion and sadness Saturday night as neighbors learned a gunman shot and killed a pregnant woman and her unborn child.
There's a lot of women and children that's being the ones that are being shot and killed.
The shooting happened.
I'm not the only one to notice that. There's a couple YouTubers noticing that. But she left one word out. There's a lot of son women, sisters. This is not happening to every woman across the board. Son women, sisters. People are starting to notice, especially the ones who live in these places like Philadelphia, a place where the murder rate has exploded in the last 2 years. They had a record, their record is 500 murders in 1990. Last year, they missed it by 2. This year, they're almost certain to get it. Before that, though, the rate was moderate. I mean, it was bad. It was worse than any, developed country. Like, their murder rate in Philadelphia is worse than most developed countries. Okay? But, however, for a stand-in city, they were doing decent. Because, we got a different, benchmark in our cities where we live at. But since Floyd, it has exploded. And the biggest newcomers to the party are sisters and their children. And no one's talking about it.
It's a lot of women and children that's being the ones that are being shot and killed.
The shooting happened on the 6100 block of Palmetto Street in the city's Lawncrest neighborhood. Police say the 34-year-old was coming from her baby shower. She was 7 months pregnant.
Bringing gifts into the house. Gunshots were heard. There was an officer a couple blocks away who heard the shots. When they came here, they discovered her shot several times.
The victim...
Who remembers the story in New York a few months ago where the young lady was killed coming from her baby shower? This happens a lot, Jack. This particular incident, I'm not talking about sisters getting killed, I'm talking about just this particular incident.
The victim was shot in the head and stomach. She was pronounced at 9:06 Saturday night. Her child was pronounced 5 minutes later.
The person that did this couldn't be more cowardly, but just hard to explain.
Police say there have been an increase in children and women killed this year, even pregnant women. This as the city nears a record number of homicides.
We're doing everything we can. We've got record numbers of guns off the street, but we're always looking to do more. What we're doing isn't enough. I'm not saying that we're doing everything we can, but we need everybody in the city, including elected officials, police officers, and every person that lives in every home in Philadelphia to get as angry as they can about this.
Police say they don't have any information on a motive or if they're looking for one or more suspects. Anyone with information is urged to contact them. In Lawncrest, Jasmine Payute, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Tonight, I'm Walter Perez. We begin with breaking news from the city's Lawncrest section. A woman who was 7 months pregnant has been shot and killed after attending her own baby shower. Action News reporter Katie Castro joins us live from the scene with details on this horrific crime. Katie.
Walter, police say it appears that this woman was targeted. She was unloading gifts from her baby shower in and out of her car into her house when someone came over and shot her in the head and stomach. Police are still out here looking for clues, and the situation got tense at one point as a woman who identified herself as this woman's best friend came out here screaming, very upset by all of this. You can see police out here, and I want to show you that car in front of the woman's house, still filled with diapers inside. We just got an update from police, and they say whoever is responsible for this is cowardly. Take a listen.
What do you say? I mean, the person that did this couldn't be more cowardly.
Police say a 32-year-old woman returning from her own baby shower, unloading presents from her car when she was shot and killed outside her home on the 6100 block of Palmetto Street in Lawncrest. An officer in the area heard the gunfire around 8:30 p.m. and rushed to the scene to find the 7-month pregnant woman shot multiple times in the head and stomach.
I know this woman didn't survive. But what a great country we live in, because I'm telling you, y'all always talking about going back to the motherland. It's not like this in the motherland. Okay? The cops, they have prison, they have jail and everything, but it's janky. The cops ain't just patrolling the streets and they hear shots and they run to it. Because they're not everywhere. They don't have enough funding and coverage for all that stuff. This cop ran straight to this. If he was able to save her, he would have. If he was able to do some first aid or some life-saving measures, he would have. He heard the shots and he ran straight to the scene. If he would have seen the guy who did this, he would have engaged him. There may have been a shootout or a foot chase, an arrest maybe. Maybe he would have had to gotten in a tussle with the guy, and you can't use chokehold, so because you can't use a chokehold because that's racist. So maybe he would have punched the guy, and then somebody catch it on their camera phone, and then there's riots. But nevertheless, the cop ran to the scene as soon as he heard the shots. I'm not built like that. Salute to all the police officers out there. I'm not built like that. To run. They're built different, man. Respect.
An officer in the area heard the gunfire around 8:30 p.m. and rushed to the scene to find the 7-month pregnant woman shot multiple times in the head and stomach. She was rushed to Einstein Medical Center, but it was too late. Both mother and her unborn child died. Neighbors say they are fed up with the gun violence.
And she was a nice person up and down the street. Would this just happen right here at the end of my block? Enough is enough. It's time for the city to do something. Something. Everybody getting fed up. We tired of it.
And now I showed you this. I've showed you the numbers. Like, the numbers are through the roof there. I mean, through the roof. And for a brother to go on camera, because brothers usually don't want to, because that's snitching. They ain't street. You ain't hardcore. Every brother got to be super thug all the time. Every son man got to be super thugged out and, hard. You know what I'm saying, son? I ain't see nothing, son. I mean, so what? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, son? That's how I be. It is what it is, son. You know what I'm saying? You got to get it how you live, son. You climb out. For a son, man, and this brother looked like he'd been around the block a time or two, to get on stage and be like, look, man.
And she was a nice person up and down the street. Would this just happen right here at the end of my block? Enough is enough. It's time for the city to do something. Something. Everybody getting fed up. We tired of it.
And tell me what you and your wife heard inside your house.
No, she just heard 7 shots. That was it. And it's just sad.
The city is nearing 500 homicides. Children are getting shot, unborn children getting shot. What is the city doing about this?
The city as a whole is doing what we can. We can't stop people who are intent on shooting somebody. When I look at this situation, it looks like someone was targeting her and looking for her.
And why do they have this woman out here? She's not the police chief. The police chief is a sister, Danielle Outlaw. And I did a video on her. I'll put a link in the description box to that video. She's super duper woke. She's like any pundit on ESPN, any pundit talking head on CNN. And that's the police chief of Philadelphia. Some wokety woke, super liberal sister. And she put her deputy out there to catch these questions when she needs to be out there answering these questions.
And it's just sad.
The city is nearing 500 homicides. Children are getting shot, unborn children getting shot. What is the city doing about this?
The city as a whole is doing what we can. We can't stop people who are intent on shooting somebody. When I look at this situation, it looks like someone was targeting her and looking for her.
And again, back at here live, that is the car that the woman was unloading gifts from her own baby shower from when she was shot in the head and stomach. Again, still many baby presents still left inside the house. Now, police still out here on scene looking for clues as to who's responsible for this. They say at this point they don't know if they're looking for one or two or more people, and they don't know a motive at this point. But what they do know is that this was targeted, and police say they found around 11 shell casings out here tonight. Police on scene also telling me that they believe that the woman's mother was inside of that house when her own daughter was shot outside of her house with a 7-month baby. Again, both mother and that unborn child unfortunately died tonight. That's the very latest here in Lawncrest. I'm reporting live. Katie Catro, Channel 6 Action News. Walter.
Such a disturbing story. All right, thank you, Katie.
There was an outpouring of support tonight for Sykea Patton's family. Her dad told me he, along with the rest of the family, they're devastated after learning his daughter was shot and killed while walking her twin boys home from school Friday afternoon. It was an emotional evening here in Mantua, a single day after 24-year-old Sykea Patton, the young mother, was tragically shot and killed while walking her twin 4-year-old boys home from school Friday afternoon.
This woman was killed walking her twin 4-year-old boys home from school. And this isn't even the story. The next day, a pregnant woman gets shot in the stomach and in the head. And we can't get a word from Fox Soul and oh, what's this show they got over there, Fox, the sisters, the Tees, whatever. I don't know what name is, but we can't get a word. I mean, a word on this from the WNBA. Don't they got a team in Philly or something? Wow. They just mowing these sisters down in the streets left and right. And listen, man, I try to cover this as much as I can. I'm only one man, so I have a lot of tropes that I cover on this channel. We covering the roads, we covering the schools, you know, we covering the wokely wokesters, we covering a lot of different things, man. The innocent victims. And yeah, I do dedicate a lot of time to these sisters, but I can't even begin to cover it all. I can just give you guys a sliver, maybe just a tidbit. This happened the day before this. Oh my God.
It was an emotional evening here in Mantua, a single day after 24-year-old Sykea Patton, the young mother, was tragically shot and killed while walking her twin 4-year-old boys home from school Friday afternoon.
They loved her, and she was fun, and she didn't deserve that.
1, 2, 3. Purple balloons filled the sky. Flowers were placed on the walk, and dozens of candles were lit to remember Sykea, who served as a friend to many, a mother to 2 little boys and a daughter to Joseph Patton.
I'm suffering today. I lost my daughter because of senseless convulsions. She didn't deserve what happened to her.
That's right.
You know, no woman deserves that.
And yet for women, it's been a violent year here in Philadelphia. Police reported earlier this week that at least 240 women have been shot in 2021. At least 61 of them were killed.
Sink in, guys. They're talking about one city. Okay? They're not talking about the country, or even the region. Where you have Baltimore, Wilmington, New Brunswick, Camden, Chester, Allentown, Harrisburg. They're not talking about the region. They're talking about one city. And it's like that in all the other cities to some proportion, to some degree. 240 women shot, 61 killed. And when I tell you guys, if you remove some people from these cities, you wouldn't need a homicide division. Just look at that. The sisters. And look where they're being killed. They're being killed on the street. This isn't domestic. Boyfriend, girlfriend on the baby boyfriend, girlfriend, I don't know, but it's happening in public. I showed you the one last week where the guy just waiting in front of the corner store, and then the girl comes up and he broad daylight. What kind of community do we have that we have people speaking on everything? We have celebrities and activists speaking on white crime. One dude, Kendrick Perkins, he was, if you saw the ESPN basketball show program, I think it's called The Jump, the other day when they opened the show talking about this, and Kendrick Perkins was like, man, I don't want to say nothing because I might lose my job. He's talking about losing his job over Kyle Rittenhouse killing 2 gliders, glacier gliders. He was so angry that he said he couldn't talk about it because he might say something that would cause him to lose his job. But this, nothing. Not even, man, put the guns down or stop the violence. They won't even say that, stop the violence. They won't even give us a cliche. Nothing. Completely ignoring this. Well, you know, when the black men kill somebody, they do 1,000 years in jail. Not in Philadelphia, not in St. Louis, not in Baltimore, not in D.C., not in New York, not in pick another 50, 1,000 cities. L.A., San Francisco, Houston, nope, they don't. When a black man kills somebody, they gonna arrest him and he gonna get 1,000 years in jail. Nothing could be further from the truth. Philadelphia's DA, Larry Krasner, his nickname is Mr. Softy. And his other nickname is Let Him Go Larry.
Friend to many, a mother to 2 little boys and a daughter to Joseph Patton.
I'm suffering today. I lost my daughter because of senseless gun violence. She didn't deserve what happened to her.
That's right.
You know, no woman deserves that.
And yet for women, it's been a violent year here in Philadelphia. Police reported earlier this week that at least 240 women have been shot in 2021. At least 61 of them were killed.
The gun violence in the city, this has to stop. You know, this has to stop. I'm 60 years old, and they're killing women and children every day here in the city. There's no respect, and there's no love for nobody no more. We can't live like this. As a people, we have to do better.
Joseph says it's now too late for his little girl and their family, but hopes society can do better to prevent others from feeling this pain coursing through his heart.
Something has to change. Something has to change. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm burying my daughter this week.
The Patton family believes this was not a random attack, and whoever shot Saikia did know her. Meanwhile, police, they have not released a lot of information about this shooting so far, only going as far to say so far no arrests have been made. Outside.